see where he is.
Hi, mate.
I see a mask and a floating hand. What are you doing?
COVID-19, mate. Being safe.
Ah, I see.
What you got on your face?
This. Well, it's a mask, isn't it? It's a face mask.
That is not a face mask. That looks like some used underwear.
They might be Sasha's underwear, yeah. COVID-19, mate. Take all the precautions. Hello and welcome to another jam-packed episode of Hard Drive. My name is Hyland and with me we have Scoop. Thank you to everyone who has once again tuned in, commented, subscribed, liked, shared to all of our content. You may have noticed we have a new jingle, which was brilliantly made by Colin Juria, so please check him out. There's a link to all of his stuff in the comments below as well. Keep spreading the word. Remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, here on YouTube. Just spread the word. Spread the word. We truly appreciate it.
Okay, so this week we're going to be talking about the very best. I'll be talking about the very best in family cars and the very best in off-road cars.
And I'll be also looking at the best city car and the best convertible. When I say convertible, I mean roadster / convertible. And we'll also be talking about the very best films that revolve around cars. Mine and Scoop's top 5, personally, and you guys have been including some of your top 5, so we'll try and include them as well. And come together with a hard drive sort of top list, really. So
Definitely. And again, your favourite bit of the show, we're going to be talking about what burns our oil.
Brilliant. Let's jump straight into it. Let's start with a rant this week. Scoop, you've been bursting to talk about this one since our last episode. You've been like, oh, I want to take control. So crack on. What really burns your oil this week?
Right, you're going to love this one. What really burns my oil this week is old people.
What? The existence of old people? Or just, like...
No. Just old people on the roads.
Good, yeah, because, I really hate that Jane down the road. Bloody 95. Hate her.
Don't say that. She can probably hear you. She's got eyes like a hawk. She's always out the window staring.
So, what is it about old people that you don't like on the road?
I don't know if it's the same with you, but I find that old people tend to drive very slowly, way too cautiously, and they just take so long doing everything. It's like they're back in the 1940s with like 10 mile an hour everywhere.
Some of them do drive it, like the majority do drive slowly. And yeah, I do hate it when you've got an old person, like the speed limit's, 70 miles an hour, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go 50 because it's not a race. It's not, it's not a target. Well, it kind of is, mate. Like, if you're doing 40 on the M25, you're probably going to get pulled up by the police for it. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. So, have you had any experiences that really stand out?
Yes, the other day, again, on the A47, on the dual carriageway, poodling along, sat on the inside lane because I was in the work van, so I'm restricted to 58 miles an hour. I'm sat there trying to get past Doris, who's doing 40 mile an hour. Like, really? Really? And then, no, what made it even worse was I went to overtake her. She then sped up again to 60. I was like, okay, I'll pull back in behind her. I pull back in behind her, she drops back down to 45.
She's mugging you off, mate. Oh, Doris there's like, that bloody van is not going past.
I know, it's ridiculous. And then the same thing happened the other day. Driving down in a 40, someone was doing 30. So I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll sit behind them, It's a single track road. You can't overtake or anything like that. So I was like, all right, winner. Cool, sat behind her. She gets to the end of the junction. No indication. Just sits there. Where's nothing coming? What are you waiting for? So me being the the grumpy child I am, give her a little toot on the horn. She puts the indicator on left.
Many hours later.
Then she pulls out. And I'm like, really? I know there's being cautious, but then there's being overcautious. There is nothing on the road besides her and me.
Do you realise that they all drive like this as well? like really close. That's probably the most dangerous place to drive, because if you're driving like that, you smash into something. That steering wheel, poof, like, you know, that's gonna, like, they'll just turn into dust. They'll just disapparate into midair.
Yeah, that airbag is going to ratchet the back of her head.
Sasha drives like that. She's her like the cash guy feels like a coffin already ready to die in. So like it's all enclosed, and she does this thing. She thinks that the seat has got a reset button. Like she jacks it up every time, like, tick, 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 tick. And I get in. It's exactly where she's left it. So I'm sitting like up here, like it's like this is great. Yeah, brilliant. I don't have actually much experience. I don't have much experience with elderly drivers. I've not been too raged about it. I've had a few, you know, again, the typical, you drive in and you're driving behind them and they're taking forever, and, you know, bless them, they've lived a good life. They deserve to be on the road.
No. As they get to a certain age, they should be made to take a refresher course, so that they can actually get to the correct speed and not be an absolute dickhead.
No way have you done this again. Debate again. You've done another debate.
I can't help it, all right?
I kind of agree with you on this, and I think my wife does as well, that when you hit a certain age, you should do another test, you know, because your reactions slow down. You know, it's just getting old. It's the way of life, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a test, like just a refresher course. You know, there's a lot of older people out there that could do with a refresher course because stuff's changed. You know, lots of things have changed.
Not even that, just a reactions test. Yeah, do a reactions test of how quickly can they brake, or like, you know, like, so they do a, like, you know, that digital counter where it goes 1 to 10. Press the button when it gets to 10. You know, do a reaction. Like when the light goes green, press the button. That shows their reaction times, and you should have like a limit of, nah, your reaction times aren't too great.
Yeah.
Should we take the driving license away and have people around that can help with that, and that responsibility lies on the family. Let us know what you guys think of that. The little debate that that Scoop always seems to start.
I can't help it. I'm an angry child. I can't help it.
Let us know if, you know, that has burnt your oil, bugged your bean.
Bugged your bean? What is that?
I don't know. Crashed your convertible. I don't know. Bugged your bean. Whatever. We can make up new.
All right. Let us know what stubbed your toe this week.
Let us know what crashed your trolley this week.
Who pissed on your cornflakes this week?
Do you know what really spilt my milk this week?
Let's move on, shall we?
Scoop and I were thinking about some of the very best cars out there coming this year. So we're looking at cars in terms of different formats. So city car, family car, off-road car, roadster and convertible. You know, if we went through every single format of car, this show would probably be about 5 hours long.
Yeah, I can't be bothered with that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to do just a few of the formats. We're going to look at the cars coming out this year, because all they are really are facelifts and newer versions of cars that have been out for ages. And we'll take a look at them. Yeah, let's start with city cars, shall we?
Yeah.
Now, we have the VW Up. This is a new this is the new VW Up coming out. You've got a 3-door and a 5-door range. You've got 4 seats. Starts for about £9,000. 1 litre engine. Top speed of around about 107 miles an hour. And an average MPG of 50. But, which is very good. Yeah, it's VW's small city car. But you've also got the sister cars. You've got the Skoda CityGo, and you've got the Seat Me, M-I-I, me, my, me.
It's me.
You got those two alternatives. Now, the Skoda looks quite decent. It kind of looks like the Up. It kind of looks a bit sporty for a Skoda. The Seat does not look like the electric car we spoke like last time, the old board. It looks horrendous. It doesn't look that good. It doesn't look that nice. A CityGo is cheaper, so Skoda is cheaper, being a Skoda.
Yeah.
It's got 55 miles per gallon, and it's under 9k, so it's a little bit better on the MPG,
Yeah.
and a little bit less money, so that's quite decent. So for a city car, that's quite nice. The Seat is a bit more impractical in terms of the three put together. So for me, my choices out of those three would be Skoda, VW, Seat.
Yeah.
Alongside that, you've got the Kia Picanto, which is 5-door, slightly bigger boot, up to 50 miles per gallon, 100 miles an hour top speed. There's a new version coming June 2020, so this year, and that comes in at about 14,790, so about 15k for the entry level. It looks quite cool. It looks a bit sporty, but 15k, that's quite a markup from VW for what is a Kia. You know, Kia have got really good 7-year warranties.
Yeah.
You know, they're a good car. They've established themselves from being this terrible little, like, oh, that's a Korean car, no way, to like actually being, oh, it's a Kia, it's decent. But the Picanto is a bit bigger than the up as well. So for a city car, depends what city you live in, really. You've got the Vauxhall Viva, which like looks like an absolute terrible car. It's so boring.
Yeah, but it can't look as bad. It cannot look as bad as the Honda electric from last week.
It didn't look as bad as that, but it looks like, you know, when the Astras, like those old Astras, look like a really terrible business car. Every business, oh, you get a company car. What is it, an Astra? Oh, of course. It's like that, just smaller. It's still really boring and ugly. You've got the Smart for 2. Like, is Smart still a thing? Like, is Smart car still a thing?
See, now Smart car is now Mercedes.
No, it's always been Mercedes. Smart car has always been Mercedes, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think they have. There's a concept from Mercedes, I believe. The Smart car came out when I was like in high school, and when it was there, it was like, oh yeah, Smart car, they're pretty cool, pretty sweet, yeah. Like the old joke of knocking them over, like you could push them over because they were so small. And the benefits of them were you could get into any parking space really, like it was that small. They were cheap on fuel, they were great. But like they just sort of faded out, the hype faded out really. And then you got the Toyota Aygo. Now the Aygo used to be really cool, you know, on like, you'd have like the Channel 4 advert of this, like in between the breaks, Toyota Aygo. That was, and you're like, yeah, I like an Aygo, they're really cool. Now they just look a bit boring.
Yeah, but you've got the Aygo, the Peugeot 107, if I remember rightly, and the Citroen C2, which are exactly the same car, built in the exact same factory by the same person, and just gone, oh, this one's that one, stick that badge on. Oh, this one's that one, stick that badge on. That's it.
Isn't that what VW do though? VW do the same thing with Seat and Skoda, really?
No, because theirs got body changes. The only one out of these three cars that's got a body change is, if I remember rightly, is the Aygo, which is slightly different. But all the interior is basically the same. It's all built in the exact same factory. It's boring.
Sash had a C1, a little C1.
I know she did. It was horrible.
She loved it. She absolutely loved that. She's like, oh, it's quite nippy. Yeah, when you rev it to 8,000. Yeah, no turbo. And it was just really French. It was just plasticky. Like, the only thing I liked about that, it looked like a 3-door, but you've got this little secret handle and you can make it into a 5-door. It was just like, really, it was the smallest, strangest car ever. Like, and also, because the metal was so thin, if you dinged it, it'd just go come back out again. Like, bar the front bumper. The front bumper, I did break that by trying to change a bulb.
Yeah, you did really well at that.
Hey, it's French. It's going to break either way, so.
To be fair, though, Sasha did have 4 of us burly guys in there, plus herself. It didn't really go anywhere, but we were in there.
We went 0 to 60 in 7 days. It was great.
Entertaining.
We're never going to have a episode sponsored by Peugeot or any French maker. They're going to hate our show.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
In terms of off-road car, what have you got, Scoop?
So you've got two cars which I've chosen. You've got the new Land Rover Discovery, which is quite swish. I like that. And then you've got the Toyota Land Cruiser. So a little bit, you know, one or the other.
One or the other. Just like you can go really high end with the Discovery for like 70 grand, or you can go Toyota, which is like I think 40 grand. I think some of those lines. Like,
see, now you're wrong with that one. You're absolutely far off with that one. So the base model of the new Discovery is actually 40 grand for the base model, and then the Toyota Land Cruiser, the base model, starting model, is 50 grand
for a Toyota.
Yeah.
Why?
It's ridiculous. So let's start off with supposedly the higher end that actually costs less than a base model of the other one. But anyway, so with those, you've got different engines you can have in them. Most of them are 7-seaters, which is always a good one. So you've got the 2-litre diesel, a 3-litre diesel, and a 2-litre petrol, which, you know, if you don't care about your MPG, you're going to go with the petrol. If you care a little bit about your MPG, you're going to go for the diesel. However, they're all crap on MPG.
Your advice there is sod the MPG, get a Land Rover Discovery, because who cares about global warming?
Basically, that's the long and the short of it, yeah. It's fine. So, with the Land Rover then, you start off with everything electrical anyway, so you get your normal electric seats, mirrors, windows. Most of them come with heated seats. Most of them, not all of them. And then you've got stuff like, it's height adjustable, which is always good. So, because they've got different modes, so, you know, for your snow, your off-road, that sort of thing. Now, you'll find with most movies and TV programs and stuff like that, their camera cars, 9 times out of 10, are Land Rover Discoveries.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're reliable-ish. Yeah, so they're reliable-ish. You know, they're stable on the road. They can go anywhere. You don't generally have that many issues with them. They're just a nice, comfy car. So yeah, starting price on those, 40 grand. MPG, I don't really think you want to know. On the two that I looked at, the 3-litre diesel and the petrol, you get 30 miles per gallon on an average. But it does come with a 5-star NCAP rating. So if you crash, you're not going to die. Don't quote me on that.
If you're buying a Land Rover, you're not, at least your kids aren't going to die.
Just the little polar bears.
Just the polar bears.
Because you're melting the polar ice cap with all your fumes.
Oh, dear. So what about the Toyota then?
So the Toyota, the only engine I have found in this Toyota is a 2.8 litre diesel.
2.8 litre diesel? Is that it?
2.8 litre diesel. That's the only. I was on their website looking through all of their spec lists, and I went on there to see what car I could get for what money. The only engine that comes up, 2.8 litre diesel.
Right, Toyota have got this really backwards. Really backwards. They're overpricing it compared to the Land Rover Disco, which, if you look back throughout time, it is the car to go off-road with. So they've overpriced it, and you only get one engine selection, 2.8 litres, which is going to guzzle your fuel. MPG's going to be through the roof.
Bye-bye polar bears.
That's horrendous. That shocked me.
When I was looking on their website, their miles per gallon, right, you're going to love this, their miles per gallon in their spec lists is a reasonable 26.8 miles per gallon on it.
So it's less miles per gallon than... Oh, man. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
You've got another bit which you're going to like on this. So, obviously, the Land Rover is cheaper, right? And you get height adjustable suspension from the factory, yeah? Toyota, you don't. That's an optional extra, the off-road pack, which is a lot of money.
Right, so they've made an off-road car, which you need to buy an off-road pack for.
Yep.
Why have they done this so backwards? Have they gone, you know what? We're going to take Land Rover's idea. and we're going to mutilate it. We're going to make as much money.
We're going to dumb it down and charge you a lot more.
If you're sitting there at home going, I need an off-road car, I'm going to look at the Land Rover Disco and I'm going to look at the Toyota Land Cruiser, and you go for the Land Cruiser, just take it, drive it, crash it, see if you survive. Because in the Land Rover, you probably will. So, just saying.
Just to piss on your cornflakes slightly on that one, that's got a 5-star NCAP rating as well. It's not as high, because obviously their points with the NCAP rating, they're points out of 37, and I think that was about 33. But it's still a pass. Honest
opinion, would you rather crash in a Land Rover, or would you rather crash in a Toyota?
I'd rather crash accidentally in a Land Rover. Purposefully, I'll crash the Toyota any day of the week, because it'd be funny.
I was hoping your answer would be I wouldn't want to crash, but there we go.
So come on then, next.
So I looked at convertibles / roadsters. Now, when I talk about roadsters and convertibles, I don't mean these A4s and these BMW 3 Series that have had the roof chopped off and it's just like, yeah, you got a convertible, all right. You'll have these people commented in a bit, just going, actually, it is a convertible. I've got one. Stop bullying me. Yeah, whatever. You know, there are some good ones. There are good ones, but 9 times out of 10, you look at it and you go, why? Just keep it. Why? Oh, it's horrendous. I've got a few that I'm looking at. The first one being the MX-5. Now, the MX-5 is the go-to convertible. You know, when you go, I want a convertible, you always sort of think the MX-5. You know, it's been that one that's been there for ages. It's always undercut all of its German sort of predecessors or rivals. And especially the Mark 1 with the flappy panel or the flappy headlights, like, that. It's always, been one of the ones that you go to. Now the new one starts at 23k. It's 0 to 62 in 8.3 seconds. Top speed of 127 miles an hour, 1.5 litre engine, 6-speed manual, and rear-wheel drifty goodness. Woo! Now, this looks cool. This looks cool. I prefer the Mark 1 just because probably I like the pop-up headlights. Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves pop-ups.
Yeah. They've adapted that, made it a bit sportier. It looks quite cool. I think they've taken on a bit of a BMW styling in terms of, the rear end. It looks a bit sportier instead of just a boat with pop-up headlights. For me, it's a cool little car, really. What do you make of it?
I like it. I mean, I've driven one of the new ones and I've driven one of the Mark 1s. I mean, don't get me wrong, I blew up a Mark 1 that kind of wasn't mine. Yeah, I've driven them both. I mean, me personally, I prefer the drive of a Mark 1 over the new one just because it, you point it in a direction and it goes. There's no delay in the steering. The new one, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as tight as the old ones did.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think with the Mark 1s, they're a little bit more fun to drive as well in terms of, you give it some, but not too much, and it grips the road, and you get that smiles per miles, as it were, that old saying. The other one I've chosen is the Audi TT, the new Audi TT. So, yes, the TT is kind of one of those ones that I hate, where I'm saying, they've taken a car and chopped the roof off. But it is small enough to sort of go as a convertible, as a roadster. You can get the normal one with the normal roof, or you can get the convertible, which they all come in 4 varieties. So they all come with a 2-litre TFSI engine with different tuning powers, ranging from 197 PS to 245 PS. Most are 7-speed S-tronic gearbox, 0 to 62 in 5.2 seconds. Coming from 34 grand, so it's a bit of a jump up from the MX-5, but it is an Audi. You expect that. You expect the badge. You expect the price tag. And there's different styling options, like the S line and the RS line, which are really just sort of interior and body sort of stylings. You probably get a bit more in terms of alloy wheels and in car entertainment. You probably get all that as well, but. It's cool. I like a TT, but the newer they get, they just look a bit generic now. The first Mark 1 TT was cool. It's like the Beetle with a roof chopped off. Although the Beetle convertible is ugly as hell. But what do you think of the TT?
Again, I've driven a TT, quite liked it. I don't know. It's German. You get what you pay for at the end of the day. You know, they're built well. They're fairly reliable. So, what more can you say?
Yeah, that's the difference between the Jap and the German side of things. In terms of with the Jap, for the price, you're probably going to get a lot thrown in. Whereas the Audi, you're probably going to have to take those styling options or extras to get a bit more for your money, but then you're paying extra for that. It is front wheel drive unless you go for the Quattro version, and then with the Quattro version, it's all wheel drive or four wheel drive. So can you really send it? I don't know. If that's what you want, go for the MX-5 maybe.
I'm sure there's ways of doing it. You know, someone will figure a way of doing it, like pulling the front drive shafts out or something. You know. Well, that's what they used to do with the Scoobies to get the Scoobies rear wheel drive. You just pull the shafts out.
True,
done.
True. That's very true. And then finally we've got the Z4. Now, I liked the first ever Z4 because it looked sporty and it had a really nice rear end, and it was, you know, decent. They're not really good for drifting, but they're a good little sporty car. The newer one, the front end just sort of really burns my oil. it's just, I don't really like it. Like it's a bit, it's a bit wide, to be fair. In terms of specs for this one, it starts at 38 grand, 340 horsepower though, 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, with a twin power turbo 6-cylinder petrol engine. That's the M40i edition. There's other options which probably bring the cost down a bit, which is the 20i and the 30i. You'll get less power, but it's less money, more than likely. It's quick, you know, and it's sporty. It's, you know, the BMW equivalent of the TT, really. Again, I like it, but I don't know. They're the best that I think in terms of convertibles. My personal preference would probably be TT, BMW MX-5, I think. What about yours?
Nah, see, no, I'd go the opposite way. I'd go MX-5, TT, Z4. Just because I don't like driving the BMWs. The bonnet is way too far out there, and, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And I think with the price, I could probably be swayed with the price for the MX-5. I think that would be, if I was on a budget and I wanted the works, I'd probably end up getting the MX-5 for value for money. So,
definitely.
In terms of family car, what have you been looking at?
So I've been looking at two family cars. I've been looking at the new Golf and then the new Focus. So German and GM, if they're still GM. I don't know.
But still, it's German versus American. The old World War II,
basically.
World War II Shabanza. In-storm the Americans.
So let's start with the Golf. So with the Golf, you get your usual stuff like your leather seats, you know, electric windows, blah blah blah. Isofix for the kids. 5-star NCAP rating, which is always good when you've got kids in the back of the car. 3 engines I've looked at with these. You get a hybrid, which is 148 brake, and you're getting, well, it's a hybrid. You're going to get a lot of miles per gallon, let's face it. You've got the 2-litre diesel, which will give you 60 miles per gallon. And then they do a petrol turbo, 250 brake, 2-litre petrol, which, you know, you don't really want to look at the miles per gallon on that one. Especially if you've got a heavy right foot.
Yeah, and the thing is, with the petrol, you're probably going to get the R line, and the R line, you're just going to like, you're going to get to a school and just wah pa 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 pa, you know.
You're going to turn up to the school, drop your kids off. You're going to stick it in launch control. You're going to shoot off down the line with your DSG. Wah, wah, wah.
And the thing is with that as well, and I'd probably, out of the three, you know, being a petrol head, I'd probably want to go for the R line, and, you know, 250 brake horsepower.
Of course.
But if you're looking at a family car, you know, you're probably going for the petrol hybrid, and especially in the fact that you're going to have that instant torque from the battery. Put it into electric power, bang, there's your torque straight off the line. So you could probably against the 250 brake, going, wah, 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 you could probably get the torque off him and do him on the line. You know, that's what kids want. They want to see you go off the line. Who cares about the rest? What about the Ford?
So the Focus, you've got again all your normal heated stuff. So all your leathers, you can get fabric seats, blah blah blah. Isofix again for the kids, 5-star NCAP rating again, and they do so many different style and packs. Style, Z-Tech, Titanium, Titanium X, ST, the older version you get the RS. There's so much to choose from.
The petrol head in me wants to turn up with the RS and just walk.
Again, engine-wise, you've got stuff like 2-litre diesels, you've got a 1.5-litre diesel, you've got a 1-litre petrol, you've got a blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And then the ST, you've got the 2.3-litre petrol against a 2-litre diesel.
So either way, you're going to guzzle fuel if you're going to buy one of those. But in terms of price, what's the pricing differences?
Starting price on a Focus is 20 grand. Starting price on a Golf is 23 grand. So in my head, you spend 3 grand more, you get a better car.
That's the hard drive top tip. If you're not on a budget, spend 3 grand more. Get the Golf. Sod off the Americans. Go for German.
Exactly.
Either way, they are. I would say you've done your homework on those. Those are the two probably best family cars out there. I would happily say that. Now, whilst we've been talking about the bests in cars, we've also been talking about the best in pop culture, and what we're talking about here is the movies. My top 5. Now, it's pretty simple. Number 5, Gone in 60 Seconds. Number 4, The Italian Job. Number 3, The Fast and the Furious. Number 1. Number 2, Need for Speed. And number 1, Rush. Oh, love that. What about your Scoop?
So, my top 5, Days of Thunder, Death Race, Low Riders, Cannonball Run, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Done.
Now, in terms of overall top 5, where are we thinking? You know, let's do a hard drive top 5. I think for me, number 5, I'd probably say Death Race. Maybe I think Death Race at number 5 because the apocalyptic go kill people with cars appeals to me a lot.
Definitely.
Number 4, I'd probably say, I don't know. Number 4, it's hard.
It is hard.
I don't know. What do you think at number 4?
I want to go Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder, number 4. Absolutely. I'll go with that. Number 3, I would split this in two in terms of the Fast and Furious number 1 for the modified street side of things, / Lowriders for the custom built Lowriders aspect. I think that's a great addition to that.
Definitely.
Number 2. Now, number 2, I kind of want to put Italian Job there, but I know that you want to put Cannonball Run there, I think.
I do really want to put Cannonball Run there. The amount of cars that are in there, the fact they're racing across country. It's got Burt Reynolds. It's Burt Reynolds. You can't turn down Burt Reynolds.
Right, but Italian Job, you've got Michael Caine.
He's no Burt Reynolds though, is he? Let's face it.
Right, let's do this. Number 2, we're going to do it again. Cannonball Run / the Italian Job. Just for the fact Burt Reynolds and Michael Caine. Number 1.
Gone in 60.
It's got to be Gone in 60, absolutely. Gone in 60 Seconds with that Mustang GT Shelby. It's an amazing storyline. And also, bring back Nicolas Cage. Where's he gone? The hard drive top 5 overall. At number 5, we have Death Race. At number 4, we have Days of Thunder. At number 3, we have Lowriders / the Fast and Furious number 1. In number 2, we have we've got Cannonball Run / Italian Job for Burt Reynolds and Michael Caine. And number 1, # bring back Nick Cage. We have Gone in 60 Seconds. That is a hard drive top 5 list. Pow!
Okay, so last week we introduced our mega modified section where you all send your cars in to us, we put them on the scale, see what we like, give you the rundown and spec, pictures, put it on the scale where we like. Right, who have we got first?
So up first we've got Luke Fowler and his Honda Civic Jordan. What do you make of this scoop?
I like it, it just needs to get finished. It's been too long as a garden ornament and I know full well about garden ornaments.
Get it right. If you're watching, Fowler, finish your bloody car. It's amazing.
He's got a point, just listen to him.
What are the specs on this?
We've got a B18C JDM engine out of a DC2, which I like. It's got an S80 gearbox with Exedi Stage 2 clutch, light and flywheel, Skunk 2 Alpha 4:1 manifold, HSD coilovers, rotor slipstreams.
And nothing else because he's stopped building it when he should be finishing in it because it's an amazing looking car. Shame on you. No, look, in all seriousness, this looks banging and I'm pretty sure it's going to be quick as hell when it's done. We just want you to finish it, Fowler, honestly.
Shotgun.
Next we have Jamie Matthews' entry with his Seat Leon Cupra. He used to own this. He then sold this, moved on to his new car, which is, Grandad McCreepy car, driving around the schools with some Werther's originals. Weird. It's a Mondeo. It's a Mondeo estate and everything. So he could literally put a dead body in the car. What?
Don't give him ideas. Just don't give him ideas. He's stupid enough as he is.
What do you make of his Seat Leon?
Again, Seat Leon. I like it. It's alright. At the end of the day, it's a Leon. It does the job. It's got neons. That is the best part of that car. It's got neons. Hashtag bring back neons.
Hashtag bring back neons. In terms of specs, this had loads of work in this. So it had a Stage 2 Revo remap with supporting mods, including Toyo Sports front mount intercooler, a DCAT 3-inch downpipe, ECS tuning coil pack, and 2-litre TSFI coils, full Miltech non-res exhaust system, crimson red roof lining, which again goes with the fact that he seems to be a murderer and he's painted the red roof with blood. It's lowered on coilovers, the wide mouth grille conversion, drilled and grooved front discs, and other exterior mods like a vent and whatever else to give it a bit of a meaner look. It also featured in Practical Performance magazine, so he got a feature out of this as well. So it shows that it is a damn good car that he's put a lot of time into, and he's sold it for a Mondeo.
He's gone sensible without needing to go sensible.
Finally, we've got an S13. I'm going to let you take this because you love S13s. What is it?
So, Tom Anderson's 180 SX. Again, absolutely love 13s. I went out in it. I nearly pooed. It was brilliant.
I've seen this and it does look mean as anything. It does look mean as anything. And it looks like it's got a lot of work into this.
SR20, it's got a front mount intercooler, had new injectors, boost controller, jump speed adjustable arms all round, which is always good. What else did he have? So he had rotor wheels. He had to go for the widest because this is Tom, so he went for 10J all round.
10J!
Stripped out interior, big old over fenders, and a welded R32 GTR diff, so no wonder it went sideways well.
I really like this. There's 3 of amazing cars, 2 of which are no longer owned by the owners, and 1 that has not been built. So we're doing well. We're doing well with these submissions.
Yeah, you're doing really well, guys. Keep up the good work.
Well, look, thank you to everyone though who sent those cars in. Tom, Jamie, and Fowler. Keep sending in your cars, specs, and their imagery so we can talk about them, rate them, put them on the scale, and all that lot. Talking about the scale, let's find out where we put them.
Yeah.
So, it's time for the scale. This is where we put the cars that we featured today, modified and standard, on our scale from 10 to 0, or 0 to 10, being from soft to hard hard being the best, soft being the worst. Let's start with the Land Rover Discovery, shall we? What do you make of this, Scoop?
I quite like it. I don't like the back end of it. They've decided to take the number plate from being slap bang in the centre like that and move it over to one side. What is the point in that? Idiots. Just to confuse people and just to wind people up that have an OCD. That's what that is.
Okay, so in terms of being an off-road car, you know, it's probably a 10. But in terms of the board, what do you think?
I would say a 7 just purely because they moved that number plate and it's stupid.
Yeah, okay, I'd agree with that because obviously we've got the Jag there at 7, but the Jag is a 7 because it's a Jag. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, we're getting on well this time.
So up next, we have the Golf that you talked about in terms of family car. What do you think?
It's a perfect family car. Isofix, 5-star cap rating. What more could you want? It's German, it'll look after you.
And the Golf is not only rapid if you go for the R-Line, or the R-Type, or whatever they want to call it. If anything, it's a decent looking car, and it's probably the most practical. So I would personally give it a good 8 on that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Cool, we are flying today!
I like this. We're actually getting on well this week, as opposed to you abusing me.
Don't talk it up though, it's going to happen at some point. You're going to disagree with me, and I have the scale. So, what are you going to do? Come round and steal my scale? I don't think you will.
I wouldn't talk it up.
Up next, we've got the VW Up, the Seat Me, and the Skoda CityGo. We'll start with the Seat Me, M-I-I, Mission Impossible Infinity. What do you think of this?
Again, it'll do. It's a city car. They're all basically the same.
The Seat is a bit more impractical. It's a bit worse on miles per gallon, and also, you know, it hasn't got the styling of the L-Born. And we put the L-Born up here, number 6. I think it's going to go down here about a 3.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 3.5 just because it is made for the city.
I'm giving it a 3. I told you don't talk it up. I'm putting it at a 3.
Knew this would happen. Absolutely knew it.
Up next, we have the Mazda MX-5. Convertible wise, this is the convertible to have, I'd say, especially if you're on a budget. I think MX-5 is going to go high, I think. What about you, Scoop?
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, if it was the Mark 1 we were putting up there, then the Mark 1 would be higher, obviously, because it's a Mark 1. No, I like it. 6, 7?
I'd probably go about 5.5, just under 6, I think. I don't think it's 6 just yet. It's cool. Again, if we have the Mark 1, the Mark 1 would probably be like 7 or 8, but I think this one, about 5.5.
Alright, go with it.
So we've seen where the Seat Me's gone, which is a 3. The sister company car, which is a Skoda CityGo. What do you reckon about this?
I like it. It's got a slightly bigger boot than the Me, Mission Impossible, Infinity, whatever you want to call it. It's alright.
I wouldn't say it's much higher though. I'd probably say about 3.5.
Yeah.
Up next, we were meant to have the Jeep Grand Cherokee to go up against the Land Rover because that's, you know, what we had scheduled. Scoop then decided to change his mind, so we had to reprogram it really, really quickly and do the old Toyota Land Cruiser. So I didn't actually print out the Toyota, so I've had to get some nail varnish and put it on a bit of paper and we'll just mark it up because Scoop messed up. Blame Scoop, shall we? Yeah, this is what we work with. Budget shows. Scoop, what do you think of the Toyota Land Cruiser?
Yes, it should go on the board.
Yeah, but for the 2.8 engine and like the 70 grand markup, I'm not putting it anywhere above 5.
Yeah, alright.
I'll say 4 because, you know, it is a Toyota and 2.8 engine is fun, but 70 odd grand for not a Land Rover? No way.
Probably not.
Up next, we have the Ford Focus. This is a great car. It's a great family car. It is probably the best equivalent to a Golf, especially with all the ranges that you have. It is quite sporty, even as a standard car, not, you know, ST or RS. It's standard, but where do you mark it against the Golf?
I would probably put the Focus at a 7 just purely because it's not as good as the Golf.
It's a 3 grand knockdown, so it's a 1 mark down on the Golf.
So it needs to go lower.
Up next, we've got the Kia Picanto. This is a city car, a bit of a bigger city car compared to the VWs and the Seat and the Skoda, for example. But it is still a city car. A bit more expensive at 15 grand, which is a bit of a markup compared to the VW and such. 5 doors though, so it's a bit bigger for space. I reckon it actually steps more into a family car now, rather than a city car, but where do you think this should go, Scoop?
Nah, see, no, I disagree. It shouldn't go anywhere near the family cars purely because it's got the boot size that you could probably just about fit a Yahoo milkshake in.
All right, so I personally think around about the 3 mark with the Seat, I think. Around about the Seat. Because it is a good car, it's just a bit expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Up next, we have the Audi TT. Now, this is a German brilliant piece of engineering. I like this. Do I like it more than the Mazda? For me, probably yes. If money was no object, I'd buy the Audi TT. What about you, Scoop?
So I would possibly say put that somewhere around the 6.5, 7.
Yeah, again, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd go 6.5. It is a bit better than the Mazda. The Mazda we put at 5.5 because, you know, we like the Mark 1 poppy up headlights, whereas that isn't. So yeah, I'd agree with that. Up next, we have the VW Up. So now, the city car, VW Up, is the perfect, I would say, perfect version of the Golf. You've got the Polo, which is the nice in between, but for a city car, small, nimble, the Up for me ticks every box.
Yeah, I like it. It's got a bigger boot than all of the rest. It's comfortable. I like it. Stick it up there.
What are you thinking? 10?
That's a little bit too high. A 10 is a little bit too high.
I'd probably put it about a 6.
Yeah, I'd probably say about 5.5 to 6, somewhere around that region.
Yeah, I think it's doubly better than the others perfectly.
Yeah.
Up next, we have the Z4. BMW Z4. The front end is, for me, too wide. Bring back the old Z4. The first ever Z4. That was a good car. That was a lovely looking car. What about you, Scoop?
No, I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. The front does look mean, but it's so long. It's like having 5 chins. I mean, mine's hidden by my beard, but still.
Right, out of lockdown, I'm probably going to have about 5 chins, right?
I'm already there, mate. It's fine. I look like a Z4.
I think this is like a 4.5. I don't think it's quick,
yeah,
and it's great. You know, it's got that sort of M40 powered twin turbo 6-cylinder engine, so it's really quick. But styling wise, I don't think they've hit the nail on the head.
No, not at all.
Skip, have you noticed there's a lack of something at the bottom of this scale?
Yeah, well, what happened was even the board doesn't like the Honda, so it decided to just bin it off.
Now, honestly, I didn't touch the board. I took nothing off. I left it how it was. And the next day, all of a sudden, it's gone. So, Honda, you don't even make the board anymore.
Congratulations, you suck.
So, up next, we've got the modified section. This is where we put your cars that you've sent in on our scale, give our opinion as to where they should go. Last week, Lexi got a little bit troubled, so we put it about 6.5. But look, you've put your new wheels on. You're still doing stuff to it. Send it in a few months and it might be up there. So, again, to anyone who sends it in, this is just our opinion. Don't take it to heart. You know, we might be wrong. You might disagree. Who knows?
I think we went a little bit hard on Lexi anyway. I really like it now it's got the wheels on. Can we at least bump it up 0.5?
All right. We'll put it to a 7. All right, fine. We'll put it to a 7.
You're welcome, Lexi. Appreciate this.
Does that mean we can put the Passat back down to a 5?
I'm going to go with no. Does that mean we can put the Bora down to a 3?
We could carry this on all day. You're not changing the board, right? You're not changing it at all. Thanks. Let's move on.
Whatever. What's next?
First up on the modified scale this week, we have Luke Fowler's Honda Civic Jordan. Now, me and Scoop both love this, right? We love this. However, at this current stage, it does not drive because it sits in his garden. What are you doing, Fowler? Sort your life out. Build your car.
You have been told.
I think, because, you know, I think it's hard because I really like the car and I really want it done. But because it's not done, I think it's got to go about a 3.
I think you're being a little bit harsh.
It doesn't drive!
My Passat barely drove and we still put that higher up.
Yeah, but your Passat didn't sit... Right, okay, fine. I'll put it as a 5.
Give a 5.5.
And it goes into 5 because I've got the scale.
I actually hate you right now.
No, you don't. Don't lie.
But I do. What's next?
Up next, we have Jamie Matthews' Seat Leon Cupra, which was actually featured in Practical Performance magazine. So that's great, brilliant. I really like this. It's got neons. Hashtag bring back neons. Where do you think this is going to go?
His, purely because he's irritated me by getting rid of it and going down the Werther's route. I want to put it in number 2.
I am going to put that creepy McGrandad Werther's original school driving, park collecting, dead body loving Mondeo on the scale. So we'll get to that in a minute.
You're not.
We are.
You're not.
I think this is actually about a 6.5. I generally think it's decent. Neons, it's a bit Marmite to some people, but 6.5. Actually, no, I think about 7.5. I think.
Are you having a laugh?
It was in Practical Performance magazine. There's loads of money gone into this. I think that's good. 7.5.
I don't care. It could be put in Playboy for all I care. It shouldn't go any higher than the Jordan, though.
All right, we'll put it the same as the Jordan. We'll put it as a 5.
Whatever. Next.
Up next, we have the car that Jamie sold the Cupra for. It's the Mondeo. This is the grandad, creepy, drive around parks, Werther's Originals, hi kids, sort of car that personally shouldn't be anywhere near this board. So, moving on. And finally, we have the S13 that Tom Anderson built. This, as a built car, as a drift car, as a road-going car, it was cool as anything. It sounded cool. It looked cool. I like this. Where do you think we should put this, Scoop?
Put it up. Put it all the way up. Not all the way at 10, but put it right up there.
Do you think it should go in 9 with Dales?
I definitely think it should go in 9 with Dales.
Yeah, I agree with that because it was built for what he wanted. It was built to drift. It was built to make people go, whoa, S13, whoa, and all that malarkey that you do when you ever see an S-Line or an S13 car. Oh, look, it's an S13. Oh, look, it's an S14. It did that. So, yeah, absolutely 9.
Any car that makes me nearly poo myself needs to go up the top.
Hang on, isn't that just a normal day at the office, you pooing yourself?
No. That's a morning ritual, but it's not up there.
All right, let's move on, going away from you pooing yourself.
Right, that's it for this week's episode. Don't forget to join us next week, where again we'll be talking about the latest releases, what really burns our oil, and obviously you guys sending in your cars as well. We'll put them on our scale. Hyland.
Absolutely. Look, thank you so much for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, all of that stuff. We really do truly appreciate it. Because we are a couple of idiots just talking on cameras and hoping that someone watches. So thank you so much for watching in. On the next episode, I'm going to be taking out my wife's Qashqai and having a little bit of a road test in that. So I'll film that for you. Obviously on my essential trip to the shops. And Scoop, you're going to be doing your Audi, aren't you? You're going to be reviewing your Audi?
Yeah, I'm gonna. It needs a drive out. It's been a little while, so I need to do it in a shop anyway. So yeah, I'll do a little road test on the modified Audi.
Brilliant. And remember to go and check out our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, all of that. Also, if you are a car club or you are anyone, any group or a brand or whatever, and you'd like to be on our board, our soft to hard drive scale, to see if you send in some couple of stickers, we'll slap them on there. It's some free advertising for you. And finally, just before I let Scoop go, on the next episode, I might add a little counter to the bottom of the video of how many times Scoop says, and tally him up and guess how many he says.
I'm pretty sure I don't say that many times,
Just you wait, my man. Just you wait.
So we're going to have a tally at the bottom and then all my bloopers, which has taken me about 12 times to get this last segment as well. Great times. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much for watching. I've been Hyland. That's been Scoop. See you in a bit.
Bye.